What's going on, guys? As you can see, I'm in a really cool area, so I figured might as well do the intro to my next video. So the last time you saw this bike, I'd just gotten it. I hadn't really done anything to it yet, and the first order of business was to fix the lights. This is an FE501S. As you know, they come with all the DOT approved bulbs and whatnot. The whole fender, under fender, it's just mad ugly. So in this video, I'm going to show you the components I went with to kind of clean things up. I have some very slim front turn signals, as you can see. Back here, we got rid of the entire ugly under fender assembly and went for some flush mount turn signals and a plate light. So I'll be showing you the components I used, how I did it. It's a really easy plug and play for the most part. As many OEM components as possible without modifying the fender or anything, drilling any new holes or anything like that. So there are some tail tidy kits up there that are like universal that drill into the fender. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to keep things as clean as possible and as reversible as possible. So stay tuned. Gonna do some B-roll clips and then we'll get into the how-to. These are the parts I'm using to do it. There are aftermarket solutions, but I wanted to say as OEM as possible. So this is a 2014 through 16 FE501 non-S under fender. I got this used for 50 bucks. So I thought that was a pretty good deal. So we got a LED turn signal flasher. These are the rear turn signals, plate light, which we need in Pennsylvania past inspections. And also this is a indicator rewire kit. Apparently there's ground issues once you switch to LEDs because front and rear on these from the factory are incandescent bulbs. I've also got these eBay front turn signals, and I'm gonna have to replace these connectors so that I don't need to mess with my existing ones. Because if I ever go to an inspection station, they give me grief for that, I'll have all the DOT approved stuff, you know, chilling in storage. So I'm gonna go ahead and open all that stuff, strip this thing down, and get to work. All right, so it's the next morning, and here's where we're at. So basically, first of all, this is the original FE501S taillight. There's 3 wires and goes to a 4-pin connector, 3 of the 4 pins being used. Now the weird thing is the colors of the wires are similar but slightly different on the FE501 under fender, but I don't think there's going to be any issues there. The other thing we've got going on is our 2 turn signal wires, this red and green, so no problems there. But this is the plate light, and as you can see, it just goes straight into the harness and there's no connector, which really bothers me because I really did not want to cut the harness at all. I just wanted to do simple plug and play so I could reverse everything if I wanted to, but that's not gonna be possible. So basically, I'm just gonna snip this, and I ordered some 2-pin connectors. I didn't want to use like the individual bullet ones because those are kind of jank. I just want to be able to unplug it, plug it back in, call it a day. So they will be here tomorrow. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead, get everything else mounted up as far as I can. I'm going to drill the holes and get the rear turn signals mounted on the new under fender, and then we'll just go from there. We've got 1 turn signal mounted, and it's actually pretty easy. So there are already these 2 kind of grooves in the plastic, so I just kind of drilled at the center of the radius at the end there, and 1 hole for the wire to pass through, the other the fastener that holds the turn signal tight, and it looks pretty good. So just gonna go ahead and do the other side. Boom, there you go. So both are mounted up, and we get the wires running under the taillight. So this is all set to get bolted back in. So everything's hooked up. Turn signals, taillight. This taillight wire on the non-S under fender is much shorter than the S, but it actually still does reach. So no extension needed. Now I'm gonna go ahead and snip this for now, and I will cap the ends. I'll come back later and attach the LED. We are all mounted up. As you can see, this is way lower profile, super slim. I'm really happy with how this looks. Brake light works. So the only thing that's not working is the turn signal. So I have the left on right now, and you'll notice that nothing going on up front. And if I turn the right turn signal on, they both start going. Oh, and actually the front. That is what this rewires for. You need this when switching to LED turn signals on the 14 through 16s. Resolves a ground issue so that you don't get any wonkiness with the turn signal. So you go ahead, pop the headlight, and get this on. All right, first things first, got the headlight popped off. Coming over to the turn signal indicator, your little green light, and yanking this. All right, so next up we pulled the existing bulb out of the socket. This white connector is going to go in its place. So I wrap that with some electrical tape, and now this is actually the new LED. So we're gonna go ahead right where it came from. All right, last but not least, this brown ground wire I am routing behind. This is a regulator rectifier, and I'm gonna mount it to this bolt. And as you can see, steering's at full lock, plenty of slack left, so this will not be a problem. Just gonna mount it right there like that. Let's see, left turn signal. Left is going, this is going, this is going. Right turn signal. Right is going, right is going. We are chilling. So as you can see, this is going super fast, but that is where this comes into play. So this is a LED flasher relay, which will replace the incandescent flasher relay. This is the flasher relay. So unplug, plug in. I'm probably gonna bolt this right around here, because that is where I did it on my 300, and that worked well. All right, so I'm editing this video right now, and I just realized I lost a bunch of clips at some point. I don't know how, but I'm just gonna give a rundown on how I tied everything up. So last time you saw that the front turn signals had bullet connectors. This is the OEM turn signal. As you can see, this is not a bullet connector. These are JST connectors. Crimped those on to the eBay turn signal. As for the plate light, I just used some generic 2-pin connectors. Basically these, they're a little bulkier than the JSTs, and I don't really think you need something this beefy, but it fit in there fine, and this whole set was cheap. So that's how I wrapped it up, and this is pretty much the final product. So front ones are super slim. They are covered up a little bit by the headlight shroud, but you can still see them, so it's good enough. And overall, I'm really happy with how everything turned out. Super low profile, nothing sticking out, and it wasn't really that expensive. The most expensive part, honestly, was the sickest parts, and you really don't need to go that route. You could just do eBay turn signals for the rear and stuff. All right, so quick demonstration. So that's gonna be the end of this video. The big takeaway is it doesn't just have to be this generation. You should be able to do this with any generation Husqvarna or KTM. The off-road and on-road under fender assemblies will be interchangeable. You don't need any special like brake switch stuff, as long as you're going from on-road model to off-road components. So if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you in the next one.